Hello, my name is Blair and welcome to another OS. Today we're gonna take a look into a Chinese operating system called Deepin version 20.9. So this Deepin OS, I encountered this in some of my YouTube that I subscribe into, and they are talking about this a couple of years ago. But of course, I made a video but haven't finished it yet, and I have some problems with the data recovery of my disk, which is one of my 4 terabyte external hard disk drive that I saved for a couple of years, so that if I could return to a video that I could make out of it. And of course it was damaged. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they have some factory defects along the way. So it is a Western Digital brand that I have, I think, for a couple of years, maybe 3 years probably. And this year it broke, and I tried to look for some of my OS, because some of my OS actually I've been testing that for a couple of years before I share it to the world, or sometimes I'm very comfortable with that particular OS, then I will give it a try and of course make it public into my YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. So anyway, let's go to the website first before we go to the actual OS. So as you can see, I'm into the Deepin 20.9 stable, which is deepin.org. So let's convert this into English first. So they have also the unstable version, which is the version 23 beta, and it's still on the experimental version, and at the same time it isn't stable yet, but you can also download that for some reason to make a test out of it. So at the same time, you have the stable version, which is their version 20.9, and it is stable and beautiful. So of course some of us, especially outside China, were having the thought of, because of the authoritarian rulers that they have, which is not actually communist, because communists, you don't have any leaders. But I think this is the ideology of this Chinese authoritarians would like an ideal of a communist, but it isn't communism, because communism is supposed to be has no leaders or some sort of governing body. It's just communism. But we have the authoritarian type of Chinese, but it's not like that years before, because I remember way back in history, it is not called China. It is called something like Qing Dynasty, because the people are called Chinese. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? So it comes out of the box and easy to install, that you can meet into your work and without additional system configuration. Yes, that's the thing that we have. We always think about you don't need to put some additional configuration. It's just out of the box installation, and this is also a friendly user type of OS, so no problem with that. It is open source. If you are really having some issues on this particular OS, you can always go to their GitHub and try to view the open source software license and view the source at the same time. So this is one of the powerful, as they say, because they are actually the Deepin forums are in GitHub, WeChat, Telegram, and the former Twitter, we call it now X. It's actually it's all over the internet, and to improve the Deepin community together. So if you have some privacy issues, please visit their source code. Some of the source code I think it is not with the OS. I think it is the application that you download is the problem. They are trying to get your information, just like in the US. They have also some questionable and shady type of privacy issues. Google. Same with Chinese counterpart, they have also some greedy type of companies. So it's not only basically in US or in UK or in Asia or in China. It's just the greediness of the company or the organization that make the application. But in the OS, I think there is no based on Wireshark. But if comparing to Windows, I think Windows is much questionable for me. In Apple computer, they have their so-called telemetries. They just want to have the information and the legitimacy of the user. In Deepin, you can also log in, log out into their account, but it's up to you if you want to let them know. But for me, I didn't turn it on. It's just perfect ecology for me. So let's go out to this website, and this is their Deepin desktop. It's actually basically same with Big Linux. They have the transparent background if you wanted to. When you move it, it's just turned to semi-transparent. So it's kind of cool. The GNU General Public License of 2007. So they follow the steps too. So it is not the question of using the OS, it is the question of application if you download it, because the OS, it only if you log into their account. But of course, I didn't log in to that account. Only supported in mainland China as present. So I'm not literally like obliged to go to this login. Based on this application, it is just an OS, so doesn't have some questionable or shady telemetries. It's just okay. As of now, this is the version 20.0. So I have the version 23, which is the development edition, which is the unstable because they're still testing it. And this 20.9 is the stable version. As you can see, I am scrolling right here and there's settings. So it's kind of cool. You have all this information. I also check for updates and I'm up to date. So we already have the abouts of this PC and their settings. So let's go to the appearance. So you have this different types of wallpaper, different types of beautiful wallpaper. Some of this are actually retouched, some of them are just computer graphics. Beautiful, no question about it. It is so beautiful. Yeah, I remember this is their screensaver. Is this real? I don't know. Some of it are actually real. I like the green one, so let's just use this one. So let me see. You have all this stuff with their appearance and their settings and their wallpaper background. So let's go to the application, what kind of application they have, and at the same time what is their default application and pre-installed in this particular version. So let's launch into this launcher. So we have all the categories right here. So let's go one by one with this one. First we have the browser. So wait, what kind of browser are they using right here? It's about thing. So it is, oh, so it is locally made in China. So it is based on Chrome. So it's still Chrome but it is they tinkered with this Chrome version. So I haven't changed anything yet in this particular settings, so I'm just gonna scroll it down. Okay, let's close this one. I just jump in back. Okay, let's go to the all categories, which is the internet. So the internet, they have the mail, the downloader. For music, they have only this kind of player. Probably it's gonna be the VLC or something. Let's try to check this one out. Oh, there's no information. Let me go back to that one. So let's go to the about. So this is the version 6.2.20, and this is the Deepin music. So let's go to video. What kind of video player did he have? Movies, questionable. Maybe is it also a Deepin or GNOME or something. It's basically open source. Let's open this one. So let's go to the open about these. So Deepin Movies is a full feature video player, supports playing local and streaming media in multi-video format. So it is in version 5.10.22 already. So literally they create their own from based on the open source. They also have the screen capture. Oh, okay, I'm now in screen capture. So if I want to do like that, or maybe like this, or maybe like this, or maybe like this, or maybe like this, and then I just hit the screen or record. Yeah, it depends on what kind of picture or video screen capture you like to. The camera, of course, I didn't turn on my webcam, so too bad. For sure, they also make their own. How about on their graphics? They have the viewer. What kind of viewer do they have? Oh, it's still the same. It's just basically they created their own based on the open source. Scanner draw of Livid Draw. Oh, so they're using the Livid Draw. Okay, so they have only 2 games. Let's go to the office. I really wanted to see this. So they're using the LibreOffice, and at the same time they have the Deepin text editor based on something like open source. Yeah. So let's go to system. So system, yeah, file manager, app store. I'll look into that app store in a while, and of course their terminal. The manual itself, kind of cool. They have the manual. Even the desktop environment they have. Cool. So if you have some question about this one and you are in doubt how to use this type of operating software, so you have the manual. Let's go back to the system. Bootmaker for the USB, device manager, system monitor, the logs, the printer manager, calendar, calculator, fonts, and so on. Even the disk utilities. I'm gonna talk about the disk utilities later. Of course, they have the website and the forum, and at the same time their feedback. Let's go to the... I want to know the disk utility first. Let's enter the super secret password. I gave this Genome box only 150 gigabytes to test this one out. So you have the SDA1 for the boot, SDA2 for their... what's this? Okay, for their extension. SDA3, let's go to SDA3. This is their recovery. SDA4 is their swap. SDA5 is the so this is the root. With a total of 150, the root only have 95.50 gigabytes. So they are clearly informed that every partition has its own. If you want to change the data in the root and your home, you just have this SDA7. So basically it's the bare bones of the Linux. You have to separate all the root A, root B, your grub, your UFI, your swap, and so on. And eventually you have the root for your home and data. So nice. File system X4 already. So that is their disk partition utility. So let's go to the application store, the app store of Deepin. Wow, it's so bright. So let's full screen this one. So I need to update. What is my update? Okay, the general store. So let's just click the update. All updates applied. And let's go to the hot apps. So there are hot apps, which is the basically their pick. So they have the Skype, PDF Arranger, what was that? Okay, so this is the apps that need to have their update. So let's apply. So let's go back to. So you have also the shortcuts. This is actually Stacer for their system analyzer. They also have the Etcher, which is the quick tool for bootable USB application. So if you have some ISO file to be a bootable USB, you just use the Etcher. It is much easier compared to the Rufus. Rufus is a little bit like for advanced. For Etcher, it is easier and simpler. If you are advanced user, you have the options like that one. But I use Etcher for a couple of reasons. I just wanted to be a bootable, and it works perfectly fine. And at the same time, I used Ventoy, so in Linux, because of course Ventoy is available in Windows, Linux, and Unix, which is Mac OS. You have also the screen copy right here, Thunderbird for the email client, OBS at the same time. Yes, you have the virtual box right here. Let's go to the Caden Live. Do they have Caden Live? No, they don't have. So sad. But of course, you can always go to the Caden Live, go to the website, and then. No, they don't have Caden Live right here. What? Alright, so as you can see, it is successfully updated everything, and it's still going on. Let's wait for this one. I think it's already over. Okay, how about this one? It is multitask. Oh yeah, you can move from one window to another window. Cool. How about this one? What is this? Okay, it's show desktop. It's just only show the desktops. Let me go through some of my. So I think this is already everything that I covered. Let me see. Nothing else. So conclusion for me, Deepin, it is kind of cool. It has very good type of layout, and it works perfectly fine. but I don't have any plans yet to install it into my hardware for now, because it requires a lot of, like, you have to partition it, you have to you have to do everything. And yes, in my conclusion, yes, you better check this one out. You can download this, but you have to have it just only dedicated to this particular desktop, because they don't have any options yet to install alongside of your existing operating system. If you want to install it, just wipe out all of your disks, except you can buy maybe another SSD to use it into your Deepin. Just install it and separate this, like maybe 250 gigabytes of SSD or NVMe. And then if you have some spare, and at the same time you can use also this SSD, that of course, let's open this one. So just buy a USB NVMe so that you can install it into a separate disk. So basically I have this one. Yeah, so this is one of my external OS I've been using to boot in. I just disable the hardware, and sometimes I update the grub so that it will be functionable in this particular OS that I have. And that's how I test OS that I have right here in my disposal. If I could not use, if there's some issues in the virtualization, I just use that one. So anyway, that's it for now for our Deepin OS version 20.9. I'm Blair, saying bye for now and see you in the next episode. And remember that science means knowing. That's why science is cool. Ciao.